Hey y'all, this is your boy Mr. Product Reviews, and today I am going to do a review on Hawk Freedom Squadron. Um, this is a game that I played a year ago. I stopped playing, after I spent like maybe 3 or 4 months into it, and then I got my new iPhone just recently, so I decided to reinstall this game just to see what it's like. And as I remember, it's fun as always. And so today I finally decided to do a review on this game. So first of all, just to kind of like do some housekeeping work is I will make an additional video on kind of like this game. It will be on like review on like I don't want to make this review to be like 30-40 minutes long like I did with my zombie Z video. If you haven't watched it, it was a little bit too long and people were talking about like, hey, this is just too much information, TMI, right? So I'm gonna try to keep this video as succinct as I can, just kind of like on the review of the game. So housekeeping. I will make an additional review on like kind of like what I think is the best level to farm or grind for money, robot experience and whatnot. So like be on the lookout for that. And I will do another review, another kind of like additional video on kind of like what I think is the best plane and robot combinations that you should have to kind of like so they could get 3 stars in all your levels and whatnot. And also something that always interests me is does and I don't know yet, but it feels like it does is does your stats stacks, right? So if you have like 2 weapons and both of them says plus 7% to score, is that 14% or is it just 7 because it doesn't stack, right? So I would do a video on that to find out if certain stats are stacking or not, because that matters, right? In the game. So those are the kind of like the housekeeping stuff. Like be on the lookout for those videos in my channel later on. So anyway, let's just kind of like jump right into it. So why I like this game? I like this game because it reminds me a lot of Raiden, but of course the Raiden was a little bit more. I'm not sure if you guys remember, like this is like back in the arcade days. There's this like game called Raiden. If you haven't seen it, I encourage you to find it somewhere, maybe in an arcade or maybe get it from an emulator or something and just check it out. It's like super awesome. The graphics is awesome, and this game reminds me a little bit of Raiden, but of course, this the graphics for this game is I would say is a little bit more happy, and but then it's to me it reminds me of that, and I remember really enjoying playing Raiden. So this game is probably the closest one that I feel like that has kind of like the same mechanic, the same response to it. I think that's what led to the success of Raiden, because of just the mechanic, the gameplay, and also the graphic was just awesome. So this is, to me, is probably as similar as it can be. So in terms of like kind of like design, branding, graphics wise, that's why I like it. And on top of that, the game developer sort of added like additional tweak to this game. They sort of added this sort of like RPG Diablo esque kind of like element to it. So like let me just kind of show you what I mean. So like tap into my plane, right? And then so I have this is my main plane here, and so as you start upgrading your plane, so like I'm at this is the max level at the moment, is level X, I'm sorry, rank X, and different ranks caps you at different level. So rank X at the moment in 2018 is the highest rank that you can get. Before it was triple S, that was the highest rank. So they just recently updated to be rank X. So like rank X allows you to get your plane up to level 240, versus before triple S was at I think 200. So as you of course upgrade to higher level, your stats goes up too. Like for example, you see 559.97, that's at 240. But then if you were comparing, say, one of my other plane, let's see, where is it? Okay, so like 200 for example, right? So this is a triple S. I'm only capped at 34, 64 plus 26, whatever that is, right? So it's about 2,000 stat point difference just for defense, right? So it does make a difference. And as you can see, I'm not like other folks that has like uh, tons of money to throw into this game. So I'm still leveling up stuff, and so I hope that this review will give you kind of a more genuine feel of like just a regular dude playing this game versus some person spent like hundreds and hundreds of dollars playing it. So like I hope you can appreciate that. But like so going back to the Diablo S part, where is kind of like each plane have their own different kind of like attributes, if you will. So for example, the first one's always is kind of like their special move, if you will, the special ability when you use during the game, and everyone has a slightly different like special move, if you will, and then. But like these are kind of the stats as you kind of like rank up, you get. So this one is like power plus 30% when armor is full, plus 18% score and coins when armor is full. So this plane really focuses on kind of like this perfect play gameplay, because in order to kind of like have these stats, you need to have your armor being full, and like every plane has their own like special like counter strike as well. So like when your plane gets damaged, then it does, every plane does something different. With this one, it basically, and I'll show it in the gameplay in a bit too, is this particular plane, it just kind of shoots like these like bullets, just kind of like 360, like it just spreads out, so like it destroys all the plane around them, as long as the bullet hits them, of course. And then the next one is kind of like force field, and then so you could see there's like these kind of like RPG Diablo-esque kind of like gameplay going on, which makes I think a much more fun gameplay versus like with other shoot 'em up games. Is kind of like it, like they all feel about the same, except for the direction of the bullet is firing, or maybe this one uses laser, or like or just the graphics is different. So like I feel like they did put in some time on it. Yeah, of course some planes are more fun than other. I mean, that's just kind of like the nature of the beast, right? It's like you can't not all the plane can be fun, but like but so yeah, so like that, so there's added Diablo-esque kind of thing on the plane, and on top of that, and I know some people's gonna laugh at me and just like, I don't have the best equipment, okay? Like these are just okay equipment, and so as you can see, so like like these equipment also gives you added abilities to your plane. So right now I'm kind of like testing on the whole ability cooldown stat, and I find it very helpful. And so what ability cooldown does is, I believe, untested by the way, which I think I should, is I think it cools so you have these thing called brobots, which I'll show you in a moment. So these are kind of like your sidekick, and each of these brobots have their own unique ability. So I think this like makes the cooldown go down quicker, so that you could use these ability more often per stage. So as you can see, there's also other things that you can tag onto your plane. So it adds a unique experience to the gameplay too, because not I might, like for example, I'm focused on ability cooldown because I like it so that I could call these cooldown more often. Maybe your gameplay might be like, well, I just don't want to die, right? So like maybe you might focus more on armor regeneration or whatnot, right? Or maybe I want my plane to be more DPS, centric. So you might want to put more into like power. So for example, like this item here I have is power plus 10% while your plane has 100% armor. So so you also too, you'll notice this in this game where there's a lot of these items where it's like some stats when your armor is 100%. So I think the game developers really try to focus on like this like perfect gameplay, which is not a bad deal. I mean, because it is to me, I feel like it's a game of skill as well. Like dodging like 10,000 bullets on the screen and be unscathed, right? So there's that challenge factor too. So like you see a lot of these items that kind of like that. Some stats when you're playing is 100% armor. So so where was I? So yeah, so there's kind of like all these kind of like different ways you could kind of like customize your plane, which I think is pretty awesome. And then on top of that, another layer of sort of like Diablo-esque RPG-ish is your brobots, which I mentioned earlier. So you have all these brobots here that you can use. And again, like I'm not maxed out in the brobots either. I just maxed it some. I'm still working on them. So hopefully you can appreciate kind of like this like me being on a journey of trying to get these robots up to where I want to be. So like yeah, you could equip these robots, and each robot have their own like ability and whatnot, and then also each robot also have, so the first one is like same thing, like the robot special ability. Everyone has a different one, and then following that is these passive stats. So like this one gives you like a shield every 3.5 seconds. Gives you a shield for 3.5 seconds every 28 seconds. And if I take 150 damage, then like my plane's damage is increased by 100% for 6 seconds, which is super nice actually. And then I haven't even got to this one yet. So again, so this robot, for example, right? You see that like I'm at double S rank. I'm not even at triple S yet. And so in order to sort of like unlock like additional ranking, you need to collect cards for the particular robot. I mean, there are generic cards that you could collect too, which I'll go more into about cards. But but just kind of like I want to focus with the whole like customized gameplay is you could equip various different robots to further enhance your game experience on the particular thing perhaps you want to focus on. Like I said, like for me, I mainly kind of focus on like power and ability cooldown. I find that very useful in the game. But your gameplay might be different than mine. So like so there's like pretty much like any combination of robot like that you could probably think of will probably help you. So like again, it adds additional element of fun gameplay into it that I thought was really cool. Raiden does not have any of this, by the way. But like Raiden was probably, I would say, if Raiden was version 1, this is like version like 2.5, really, because they've done updates on it. So so there's that, and then also too, when you get a lot of equipments and whatnot, there's a lot of equipments that might be just trash, right? That you don't need. So like what you can do is you can like so you could like either one, you could sell these equipment for additional gold, and then you could use the gold coins to like upgrade your plane, your robots, whatever. You could sell it that way, or if you're like a gambler, I'm not, but I still play this. Is you could throw these up here into this kind of like how do I say it? So like you put put like basically you put 4 items and you combine it, and then what happens is it'll give you a new item. And the percentage, as you can see in this particular example, is there's a 26% chance I would get a purple item, which is the high. Basically, the rarity is purple, followed by blue, followed by green. So like purple trumps blue, and blue trumps green. If you play Diablo, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. So so basically, in this combination, there's a 26% chance that I'll get a purple item, 69 on blue, and 5 on green. Great, And then also too, you see that level from 5 to 8. So the reason is 5 to 8 is because I have some items at rank 5, and I have some items at rank 8. So that's the range. And the higher that ranking, the higher the stats are. So so this to me would be a bad way to combine item. Like I personally would not combine it that way. I would try to keep all the items at the same ranking. So right now, I'm at rank 8, so I just basically get all the rank 8 item and combine them that way, so that I can, get a rank 8 item. So let me just put some rank 8. So you see, right? When I have all rank 8, I'll get a rank 8 level item. So this is kind of what you want. You don't want to go from like this range of ranking, because then you'll get like ranking that's lower. It might be a good item, but your stats might be lower, and it's gonna impact your gameplay at a later level, because enemies hit a lot harder at a later level. So you want to do that. And also too, like you see this range here, that range, you could kind of like increase that range higher by like purchasing the stabilizer. So I purchased a stabilizer twice already. I think the first stabilizer was like $199, and then the second one was like $499. So this is the third one. Should I decide to purchase it at $8, basically? I probably won't do it, or maybe when I had a couple beer, maybe I'll change my mind. But yeah, so it adds another kind of like element for you to get like better items for your plane as well. My screen just turned off. I'm sorry. Let me just turn this back on. So yeah, it's so like I said, it just adds another kind of like element, to the gameplay. So lots of way to kind of like, no pun intended, skin the cat, right? On this game. Again, just very, you have a very customized play, in my opinion, which is nice. So we talked about kind of like the gameplay. We talked about kind of like the stabilizer, which I kind of like call it the black box. Okay, which they did too, black box, yeah. So like, so we talked about black box. So the next thing I just kind of want to talk about is overall strategy, and this is my overall strategy, by the way. Like like everybody, like somebody else might have a better strategy than I do. So I'll just impart what I think is probably the best strategy to play this game. And the first, so like my overall strategy focuses on people that probably don't. So this is a free to play game, right? My overall strategy focuses mainly on that, except for my first point, and you see why. But like I just wanted to kind of like like if you don't have the money to throw around, right, for this game, like this would be what I think would be the best strategy for you to play this game. Like and I also say this too, developers or just like you and me, they have families, they have kids. I mean, if you can, of course, if you enjoy the game, like for me, if I enjoy the game and I play it, and especially when it's a free to play game, and there's like a sale or whatever, it's like $5. It's like, cost of a Starbucks coffee, right? Just cost of a coffee. I don't mind that. I think we need to support the gaming community, in any small contribution ways we can, right? Because it goes a long way, right? Because if everybody who plays the game gives them $5, they can feed their kids, they can pay their bills, So like anyway, so I'm just gonna like right now go over the overall strategy, what I think the best way to play this game is. So first of all, like I said, the first point of this strategy involves money, okay? But everything else following that doesn't. But like. So my first strategy is, so this is what I did, and this is new. They didn't have this last year when I played this game, is this thing called Premium for 30 days. So what's cool about this? What's like really cool about this is I think I subscribe, so it's like a subscription. So I pay $2.99 every month, right? And then when I do that, I get 300 crystal every time when I re-up for the subscription. So basically, it expires every 30 days, and then basically the game will prompt me, say, hey, would you want to buy another 30 days, right? And so every time you buy this subscription, you get 300 crystal on the spot, which is super, super nice in my opinion, right? And then on top of that, you get 40 crystal every day. So just sort of going into the game every day, click a button, you get 40 crystal. So like, I never done the math, but I'm gonna trust their math on it. So a total of 1,500 crystal for 30 days, for $3, right? Like, and I want to say too, I don't work for this gaming company. I don't have any affiliation with them. I just enjoy the game. But I think this is a really, really good deal. The other stuff, 20% discount respawning, for me, +2 overdrive emission, for me, because I like to challenge myself. I don't really like to use overdrive. And on top of that, you have to spend coins to buy overdrive if you don't have any overdrive. So I don't really use overdrive, and I like to be challenged. So I don't use overdrive. I just use my brobot, or if I get free overdrive in a game, I use that. Free respawn once per day. That's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome because there are certain levels where you do need that free respawn. I mean, you can keep respawning the game, don't get me wrong, but then you have to spend crystal. And you don't want to spend crystal, and that's actually one of my points in the strategy, which I can go over later. Is so like I don't want to spend crystal, so one free respawn once per day helps, because like there are certain levels you might not have the level or the DPS for it, right? So you want to stay there long enough so that your second player your bro, if you will, can help you, right? So sometimes you might just die midway and you want to just kind of get past that level. That free respawn, golden, absolute golden, like once per day. So use that sparingly. I don't use that every day, but then when I do need it, it's nice to have it. Last point, a limited, I don't even know how to pronounce it, verdium. They just call it gas, really. Like, unlimited gas. So like, what that means is, let me just kind of like go here real quick. So like, I'm subscribed, so like it's a little bit different. But like every level, right? Every level that you play uses certain number of gas to play. So like, I don't know, this one might be 15 gas. And then it's kind of like, all the other free-to-play games, right? You have to wait, and it's like every hour you generate 1 unit of gas or whatever unit that is in the particular game that you play. So like, what's really nice, let me just go back to the screen here, is unlimited. So you get to play all those levels all you want, free for all. It's like a buffet style, which is nice because this is gonna play in. I'm gonna talk about this in my other video on, like, best level to grind for coins and also for robot experience. Like, this in itself is golden, unlimited gas. So like, I've been using the heck of it. I'm sure I use, like, if I have to, like, buy a refill of gas every day or whatever, I think that's probably one of the reasons why I stopped, because like, I ran out of gas. I really don't want to get an extra refill because I have to use crystal. I have to pay more money for it, and I'm just like, nah, not for me. So this unlimited gas is awesome. In my opinion, I think that in itself worth $2.99. But I hope the game dev doesn't see my video. Like, I'm just sharing with you because I really don't want them to change this. Like, this is a really good deal for $3 for 1 month, right? I mean, you might disagree, but in my opinion, $3. That's like cost of coffee, right? You're gonna see me compare this to coffee a lot because a lot of us drink coffee, and it's like $3, right? What's $3? So again, I highly encourage it. This is my number. Like, if you have a takeaway or overall strategy, this is in itself. If you have some money to fry this game, this is the thing to get, because it's gonna help you so much more. And on top of that, when you do buy this, right? It goes, let me see if there's an easy way for me to get into, where is it? Oh, here we go, VIP. So they have these different VIP level, and then so when you buy these crystals, in game, you get like this, kind of like this, they have this thing called VIP status. So like, you're gonna probably unlock VIP 2 status fairly quickly in the game. So when you unlock VIP 2 status, you can, like, the one of the perks you get is you can purchase planes ahead of time. So like, because I was a VIP 2 fairly early in the game when I played this, so like, I can't really vouch for it. But like, I think there's certain planes that doesn't even allow you to unlock it until you reach a certain stage, which kind of sucks. And there is this one plane, which in my other review I'm going to talk about, is like, to me, the D plane to get in the game. So I think if you could get that as early as you can, that would be great. So just unlocking that VIP 2 status, I think would be awesome. So like, so you get, additional perks too. And so when you buy the subscription, it's gonna add to your VIP 2 status. So like, I'm trying to get to 6. So I'm 1860. So each crystal is 1 point, I think. So I still need about 1,200 crystal purchase for me to pass VIP 6. So like, for me right now is I'm just holding my money. I'm hoping, and I'm taking this video actually a little bit before Thanksgiving, so I'm hoping that there will be a Black Friday sale on crystals, because I will probably at least buy 1,200 just so I could get the VIP 6 status, because I don't really want to see ads to get like items. So like, having that will be perfect, and the rest of the stuff, it's I wouldn't say it's good. Like VIP 7, again, no ads in container. So again, there's like 2 ways that could hit you up with ads if you want to, like, get items after the ads. So like, I think like VIP 7 would be very enticing for me to get, like, in the future. And for me, I spend anywhere between, like, probably $5 to $10 on this game. Like I said, some people say, haha, why are you paying for a free game? It's like, at the end of the day, I have a job. I'm happy I have a job. I can pay my bills, and I want the game developers who are working on this, hardworking, on on this game to get paid too. That's kind of like how I see it. So that's his first strategy. Get a subscription. So second strategy is use crystals when you absolutely need to. Like absolutely need to. Like what do I mean by that, right? Okay. So like so in the game, they have different various way to trick you to using crystal, if you will. Right? One way is you die midway in the stage. You could respawn, but it's gonna cost you crystal. I would be like, no, don't use crystal on that. That's not a very good way to use a crystal. Just admit defeat and then come back to it a second time with another bro friend in the mix in the game. I'll talk about a little bit about that, what I mean by that, like a bro friend to be in a game. But use crystal absolutely need to, right? So don't try not to use crystal when you respawn. So that's why I was talking about when in the subscription you get one free respawn per day. That's nice because a respawn, I think first respawn from my experience costs you 16 crystals, and I think that's a poor use of crystals because you need to use crystals on upgrading your plane. So only use crystal when you absolutely need to. So that's a poor use of crystal in my opinion. And another poor use of crystal, if you're doing this kind of if you're playing this game for free and you don't want to pay for it, is upgrading your brobots. So you see here how I could use 28 crystal to up one level of my brobot. Again, I think it's a bad use of crystal because you could use coins to upgrade that brobot. And coins is a lot more available than crystal, right? So just from a scarcity point of view, right? You could grind for money and upgrade this brobot, right? So why would you want to use crystal? Again, in my opinion, poor use of crystal. Don't use it. Again, upgrading your plane too. You could use crystals to upgrade your plane. Again, poor use of your crystal. Don't do it. So it's kind of great. Let me get some bro points here first. So it's kind of yeah, great. You told me I shouldn't use crystals on these things. So where should I use it, right? It's okay. So the places when I say absolutely need to, right? Certain things you just absolutely have to use crystal. So one of the things that you have to use crystal is increasing your rank for your plane. See, it's gonna cost you 700 crystals to evolve this plane to the next level, which is double S ranking. So this is a place where you have to, right? There's no way around it. So that's why I'm saying save your crystal. Save it for things like this. Evolving your plane to a higher rank. That's a good use of crystal because that's the only way, at least for now, as of the recording of this video, this is the only way you can upgrade your plane. And sometime there's sales. So for example, right now there's a sale that normally say this plane here, Havoc, is that I could upgrade this upgrade this plane without using any of my cards, and for 620 versus 1033. If you like this plane, that might be a good use of crystal because that's the only way you could do this, right? Is through using crystal currency. So things like that, things you have to use crystal, then use it that way, So at one point I have about 3,000 crystals in my account, and so what I think is probably second best way to use crystals is so they added this little chest box over here. They don't even have a name. Let me see. This just, I guess, treasure chest box or whatever. It's kind of a little bit of kind of like a slot machine. So I could buy one chest with 29 crystal, or I could buy 10 of it at 290. There's really no savings. It's just easier, right? So at one point I have 3,000 crystal. I had a lot of crystals, So and I didn't have any plane I was interested in upgrading. So I was so this would I would say probably second best use of using your crystal is buy these chests because you get these various items. So the only way, so in this chest you could there's a chance for you to win this Raiden, this plane called Raiden. It's kind of funny, right? We were just talking about how much I like Raiden. So you could get this plane called Raiden, and this is the only way to get it is through opening these chests, and then some of these chests will have the Raiden card. So I got that. I luckily I bought enough chests and I got this plane. So I have Raiden here. So like I would say that's probably second best use of crystals. I wouldn't necessarily say like Raiden is probably the best plane there is out there, but so like Raiden is one of them that you can only get it for a chest. And before they actually have another chest. They don't have it anymore. Is to get this plane called Alchemist, which I also have here. Kind of cool. Interesting stats and things like that. But anyway, I sort of digress. But like probably second best use of your crystal is buying these chests, in my opinion. If you have planes that you need to upgrade first, I would say skip it. Skip these chests. You get a free chest of. I think you get one of these free chests every 12 hours or so. So like you will get at least like one or two a day just by watching an ad. So I would say do that. Unless you have insane amount of crystals and there's no planes you want to upgrade or no like. Oh yeah, brobot is the same way. If you want to upgrade a brobot, you need to use crystal to upgrade brobot. So that's why I'm saying like use crystal when you absolutely have to. So like if there's nothing else that you want to get, I think these chests are probably next best thing. And then afterward, there's probably nothing, in my opinion, at the moment in the game that's worth using your crystals on. So that's my spiel on crystals. You play at your own style, but that's my recommendation with how you should use your crystals, especially if you're playing this game free and don't want to spend any money on it. Next point is these things called brobot experience. So like these are brobot experience, and then these over here, the orange ones, are called free brobot experience. So what is the difference, right? So brobot experience, as long as you take your brobot in battle in the game, they will accumulate brobot experience. Okay, so as long as they're one of your brobot that you equipped and you're in the game, they will accumulate brobot experience. Simple as that. And then sometime when you open a chest or whatever, or like say over here a daily, so like this kind of like daily shop, if you will, you can use bro points to get free brobot experience as well. And I would say keep your free brobot experience as much as you can. And this is the reason why is so like you would have like chances are when you start playing this game you're gonna have a particular brobot that you really like. So for example, right now I really like the Gaddis and also Kraken. Like I'll do another video on that, on what I think is the best brobot combination with the best plane. But like right now these are kind of like two brobot that I like take often to battle. So you can see I accumulate like I was about to swear, but I accumulate a ton of brobot experience from here. So here you see like I can't even read it. It's like 3.8 million. Let's call it that, right? 3.8 million of brobot experience for this, and I can't even use it because I maxed out my level at 140, and I still need to collect cards to unlock the additional 60 levels. So I can't. So like it will keep accumulating. Your brobot experience will keep accumulating even though you max out your level, which is nice because then when you evolve to the next rank, you could use those free brobot experience and just up it, right? So why do you want to have like a good surplus of free brobot, right? Good question. So the thing is like I mentioned, right, there probably will be 2 or 3 brobot that you take to battle quite often, and there are some that you don't take as often, but then you're interested in getting them at a higher level, right? So those are the time where I would say like might be a good time, right, for you to use some of that free brobot experience on like some of these brobots that you don't take to battle often. So for example, this one is at 61,000. I mean, like what? I leveled that 7 times and I ran out of brobot experience. So then what would happen? It would start taking from the free brobot experience and fill in the gap for that. So that's why like I my recommended strategy is keep a surplus of free brobot experience, because you never know that like maybe the game developer made an update and they nerfed some of your existing brobot, but then some of the ones that are weak are now more powerful, but then they're at a lower level, and then you want to get them up to a more acceptable level, then you have to grind for brobot experience, right? If you don't have free brobot experience. So if you have a surplus of that, then you could get them up quickly, so you don't waste your time grinding for robot experience for those robots that you don't spend a lot of time on. So that's my next strategy, is to have a surplus of your free robot experience point, because like you never know when you need it. So then the next thing is be sure to like these daily chests. Be sure that you get in the game once a day to open a chest, because like they do have awesome items there that perhaps you can use. Maybe not right now, but like there might be currencies and things like that they give you. And it's free, right? You just watch an ad. I mean, you don't really have to watch an ad either, right? So like daily chests, very important. And then another thing is do your daily quests, right? I actually have more. Here I still have a couple more today that I need to finish. And make sure you get your daily reward, right? So your daily reward, make sure you sign in the game once a day, right? So like you see, there's kind of like pretty decent item, right? Just for signing in and just collect these items. So again, do get your daily rewards to do your daily quests. So that you maximizes your coins, your crystals, and things like that. And another thing too, the game developer are actually fairly generous with giving, even for free play, they're fairly generous giving you crystals, in my opinion. Like some of the stages when you play, they do give you like 20 crystal when you complete the stage and what have you. I don't have any particular one to show you, because I sort of like 3-star of these already. Let me see if I could I don't know, let's do 84. So I don't know if you could tell, right, from other rewards you see some crystals on the fourth one over. So like stages, there's different stages that gives you different things, but like the heroic one always gives you some form of crystals. So like the developer are fairly generous in terms of giving you crystals, even though if you play as a free play, if you don't spend money on it, which again I like, so do your daily quests, and then also remember to do all your team up, because I completed all the team up unfortunately, but team up would give you like the bro points, and then they changed it, like it wasn't like this before, but now it's like you get like 3 team up event. And then the last one, stage 215, it's not always stage 215. The stage differs every day, but the last one always gives you some bro points and also some amount of crystal, which is really nice. So do your team up, and this resets daily. Your trials, do your trials, as much as you can, and this is kind of like the part where like it's good to have all your plane to rank S, like if you can, because these basically I finished it 4 already, but this last one I couldn't complete because I need a rank S plane for this particular plane. So if you have for me, I can't do that quest at all, because I just don't have that plane at rank S. So another strategy of that is of course, get your favorite plane to the highest level always, right? First, and then after that, and then your second favorite plane maybe, or whatever, or third or whatever. But then once you kind of run out of planes that's considered your favorite, then you should probably get the rest of the plane up to rank S as soon as you can, so that you can like finish all the trials that you can. Like right now, I can't do this because Havoc. I think this is a Havoc plane. Yeah, Havoc is rank S, so I can't do this. So like get your plane to rank S as quickly as you can after your favorite planes. So that's another strategy. Why would you want to do that? Because when you finish trials, you get these things called medals, and you use medals to get further like buy cards for your plane to unlock at a higher rank, and bro points and whatnot. I'll go into the screen a little bit more too in a bit. So do your trials. Do your assault. An assault stages is a 48 hour. Basically it's every other day. So so for example, in an hour and a half from now, the assault stage will be available for me, and then afterward, it's then the next day there won't be an assault stage, and then the day after that there will be an assault stage. So it's every other day. So be aware of that. This is not available every day. It's available every 48 hours. So be on the lookout for that. be aware of that so that you could spend your, and then they give you badges in here, and badges the same thing, you use badge to buy things like that. So be aware of how you want to spend your badges, because it doesn't reset every day, so you want to be kind of like a little bit judicious about like kind of like what kind of playing cards you want to buy, so that you can spread out the different 2 days. I mean, you could reset it too and get a new batch of cards immediately, but I don't use that. I think it's a poor way of using these badges, especially if you have a scarcity of badges. Like for me, I try not to use it because I still have so many planes that I want to collect in terms of card wise, as you can see earlier in my video. So I try not to do that. You know, do your assault, and also definitely do your contest. So contest is, you know, I'm like rank 42. I'm not very good at it, sorry. But like, you know, do your contest, they give you additional item, and then if you're like rank 1, 2, or 3 in the senior league, you get the Arcadia, which is kind of like what I'm trying to get. But like it's really hard because I'm not as good as some of these players out there. So yeah, you know, do your contest too when it's available. The contest is every Friday. It goes for 24 hours, and that's it. Friday, so that's that. And the next strategy that I want to talk about is buy cards for. This might be a bad screen. Let me go to like say this screen here. So buy playing cards for your specific plane. So what do I mean by that, right? So like, so you see here, you know, I have, you know, this plane over here, Invader, right? For example, say for example, I really want to get the Invader, right? Buy those up first. So you see, so in terms of economy wise, right? I could buy 16 of that card for 370, right? So like, okay, cool. And then, so like in the game, they also have these things called uni cards. So like I could just call them generic cards. So basically you could use these uni cards on any planes you want to kind of like fill in that gap. So maybe you're 10 away from getting the Invader, for example, but you have 10 uni cards. You could use that for the Invader, or you could use that for the Sparrow, or you could use that for the Gambit. You see what I'm saying? So you could use these for the different planes. But look at the economy for this, right? You get 10 for 470, right? Versus you get 16 for the particular plane at 370. And this economy translates to other things. So here we use metals. So let's look at Assault, for example, too. They also offer Unicard. So in Assault, I could get this, say for example, the Laser Bite, right? For 16 at 1170, or I could get 10 for 1530 for Unicard. So again, the economy is much better if you could get the cards for the specific planes. Okay, but like, you know, say for example, like, you know, you really want, like, so right now I really want to try to get this plane. So like my strategy would be like, I would probably buy up all these cards for this particular plane and probably spend the rest of it on Uniplane, because I really want to get that like I really want to evolve that plane as quickly as I can. So that would be a good strategy to use a uni card. Is, you know, you kind of know what you want, and like you don't really care so much about getting the other plane to rank S yet or what have you. So that would be a good use of it. But like, you know, try to, if you want to do a more spread out strategy, then like I would say buy uni cards sparingly. If you want to try to get all your planes you know, up at rank S as quickly as possible, I would say probably, like, you know, not spend on Unicard unless you need to, right? Unless you have a surplus of badges or medals or what have you. So there's that. Like, buy the specific cards, playing cards first, then you buy the Unicard, and that translates the same thing to brobots. So brobots also have their own thing, and then right now it's only available in the contest section of the shop. So like you have brobots that you can buy. Again, look at this, like, right? You could buy 4 at 100, right? For brobots. Versus, and they have these like ones called brobot unicards, basically, right? So you could buy, yeah, you don't see the price here, but they're basically 6 for 300, right? 6 for 300 versus 4 for 100, right? I mean, you don't really need to do the math, but you know, you can see the brobots card specific cards are a better deal than the uni. So for example, like this is the one where like which is kind of like my strategy is I want to get these uni cards is because so there's really about 6 robots right now that I like. So you see the stars; those are the one that I favorited. So like basically, there's really only 6, and I really want to get Legatus as quickly as I can to rank triple S. So for me, in this particular strategy, is I don't mind buying these uni cards because like I just want to get Legatus as quickly as possible to rank 200. I'm sorry, to rank triple S. You know, so in this particular case, you know, that would be a good example to buy uni cards. You know, like so I mean before I sort of like was against buying uni cards, but there are, you know, rules that you might want to break sometime because of your certain gameplay. So this is a good example where like, you know, I will want to buy uni cards. Okay. So the next thing that I want to talk about is yeah. So like another thing that I just want to note in the game is in my opinion, brobot, like maybe every day, you know, these robots and these I think the plane kind of stays the same between the shops, but like these brobot changes every day on the cards, and same thing on your bro points shop. It's the same thing. These brobot changes, and these planes stays relatively the same. Maybe one might have like for example like Raph has 2 spot, right? That type of deal. But these brobot changes every day too. But in my opinion, brobot is much rarer than playing cards. And also it, you know, you get when you get one card for planes, you know, for a particular plane, you usually get like a quantity of 16. Versus brobot, you get 4. And so in terms of getting these brobot to evolve, it's gonna take a little bit longer than planes. So my recommendation is to if you're gonna prioritize like, well, what should I buy first? Should I buy the planes first? Should I buy the brobots first? If you're say like low on bro points or whatever, or metal or what have you, like which one should you go first? My recommendation is go purchase all your brobots first before you go purchase your planes, because because brobots to me, brobot cards and also the specific one you want is much rarer than your playing cards. So go for the brobots first, in my opinion. Buy those first before you buy playing cards if you are limited in whatever, you know, currency in the certain shop. So then, you know, just real quick, I see this a lot, and I did some research before I made this review. Is like, you know, I often see in the comments like, hey, what's the best plane, right? You know, so I'm gonna tell you my opinion. 2008 November 2018, right? I don't know if the game developer would nerf it in the future, but in November 2018, my opinion, and I'm gonna do a more in-depth review, but I just want to give you a teaser. Is my opinion right now, best plane, Gambit. Gambit to have best robots to have with the Gambit, in my opinion, Legatus and Kraken. So I'll just leave it at that. I know this video has been pretty long already, but like this is probably my combination, and this is the combination where I got, you know, 3 stars in pretty much for most stuff, right? I even got this is a new chapter that they just opened like maybe a month ago. I even got 3 star in the last boss here. You know, let me see if I even got the 3 star in the AI. So in the second chapter, the last boss was the AI. I wonder if I got 3 stars on that already. Yeah. So yeah, I already got 3 star on that too. So this is the combination that got me 3 stars in basically everything on the map. I mean, I didn't unlock Gambit until later on in the game, but like later stages, this is the plane that got me 3 stars throughout. So this is my combination. I will do a more in-depth video on this, so be on the lookout for my channel for that particular video. So I'm gonna leave it at that. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please like it. If you have any question, please comment, or or nice comment for me. This is what gets me going, every day. And please, 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 if you can, subscribe, get my name out there if you like my reviews. So yeah, that's it. Mr. Prada Reviews out.